Hey guys, it's Preston with Alpha EDU. Hey guys, it's Preston with Alpha EDU. Hey guys, it's Preston with Alpha EDU. Hey, Cashman! Let's talk about money! Yes. All right, it is great to be here at Booker T. Washington High School, home of the Golden Eagles. Let's go. All right. As I said, my name is Preston Pritchett, and I'm with Alpha EDU, and today we are here to talk about funding your future. That's what we're talking about today. Go ahead and hit it, Justin. Funding your future. We're talking about money related to personal finances, how you guys get money, how you guys spend money, how you guys use money, and certainly we're going to talk about covering the costs of college. Now today we have 4 parts we're going to get into. After each part, I'm going to give you some information, and then I'm going to get a volunteer. Now there are only a few of you here today. Hold on. I love the energy. I'll tell you later, but I'm going to get a few volunteers to play some of our games. And as I said earlier, those who play the games have a chance to win actual cash money to take home with you today. Happened yesterday, happened last week. I do a lot of high school presentations, and students walk away every time with money in their pockets. Here's the deal, though. You have to really pay attention to the information I share with you in each part, because the person that comes up to volunteer has to answer questions based on the information. And the more questions you answer, the better your chances of winning money. Everybody cool with that? All right, let's get started then. We're going to go ahead and go to topic 1, money management. So go ahead and slide over, Jackson. We're just going to skip right through it to money management. So when it comes to money management, I know you guys are 9th graders. You're kind of learning about money management, kind of figuring out what all that looks like, how it works. I want to make sure that you guys have a good understanding of how money actually operates. And you're probably wondering, well, I'm in 9th grade. I'm not ready to go to college. I'm not ready to start working full-time. I don't have a job, maybe a little part-time job, some of you, but you don't have a full-time job. You're wondering, why start now? I tell all the students this. How many of you play sports? Any athletes in the room? Almost everybody. Perfect. We were just talking about track and field. A man in the back, which sport? Football. I used to coach football. Right here, which sport? Okay, band works too. That's an organization. I love it. Which sport? Okay, so we got a lot of athletes in the room. I would be willing to guess that many of you did not start playing that sport this year. You've probably been playing it for several years, right? Even going back to like Pee Wee, Little League, probably going back to your front yard, backyard with your friends, with your cousins, right? Playing ball in the yard. This country has a history of training young people to excel in sports. And that's a great thing. We just had the Olympics, right? We have a lot of success when it comes to athletics here in America, and that's awesome. What we don't have as great a history of is training young people to use money the right way. And so we want to start early on, right? You're young adults, but you're in 9th grade. We want to make sure that when you go on to your career, when you go on to college, when you go on to later things in life, that you understand how money works so you can make money work for you. Wealthy people, right? Wealthy people don't just work hard for their money, they have their money working hard for them. Let's say that one more time. Wealthy people don't just work hard for their money, they have their money working hard for them. That's what we want. We want to be smart. We want to be like wealthy people who are working hard for their money and have their money working hard for them. So we're going to start out with money planning. When it comes to money, I want to make sure you guys understand some key topics here. The first is what we call income and expenses. These are foundational principles to money management. They're really easy to understand. Income is simply money coming in. You work a part-time or full-time job, you're getting money coming in. You have a birthday, you probably get money coming in. Christmas time, you might get some money coming in, right? You sell some things, might get money coming in. You wash somebody's car, cut somebody's grass, babysit somebody's kids, your siblings, you might have money coming in. Income is any money that you have coming in. Expenses is money going out. We buy a lot of things, right? You're spending money almost every day. Drink it from the drink machine, candy, going to the grocery store, going to get gasoline in your cars. We spend money all the time, right? So income is money coming in. Expenses is money going out. Here's the deal. I do a lot of presentations, and I often ask people, how many of you want more money? Every hand goes up. Here's what I've never had anyone say. No one's ever raised a hand and said, hey, Mr. Pritchett, money man, game show guy, I need less money. No one's ever said I need less money. We always say we always need more money. So if we need more money, there's only 2 foundational ways to do it. We can either increase our income or we can decrease our expenses. That's the only way to do it. We got to get more money coming in or have less money going out. So when you understand that principle, you can start to make sure that you have enough money for whatever you need. Now, let's say one day you're going to be working a part-time or a full-time job. I worked a part-time job in high school, worked at a fast food restaurant, didn't make a ton of money, made a little bit. Then I went on to college, worked another part-time job. Then after college, I got a full-time job, right? That's kind of the process. So whenever you start getting money coming in, I want to make sure that you guys understand this idea of gross income and net income. Say those with me. Gross income, and net income. Gross doesn't mean nasty or dirty in this case. Gross just means the overall amount, the total amount. I think he knew that right there. I appreciate you. All right, gross means the total amount. So I got a friend of mine, just started a new job. The company said, we're going to pay you a salary every single month. At the end of the month, we're going to pay you $1,000. He said, cool. He said, I need a few things, though. I need to go buy a new TV. All right. I need to go to a fancy restaurant. Okay. I need to go on a quick vacation. By the end of the month, he had spent $1,000. I said, man, are you sure this is a smart thing? He said, it's cool. The company I'm working for, they said they're going to pay me $1,000 a month salary. What he didn't understand is the difference between gross and net. Because there are these things called, she knows, there are these things called deductions. Nod your heads if you've heard of taxes. It's tax, he knows. Nod your heads if you've heard of Social Security. Nod your heads if you've heard of Medicare. And there are others too, but these are deductions that come out of every working American's paycheck. And the difference between your gross income, the overall amount, and what actually goes in your bank account, that's what we call the net income. So when he thought he was getting $1,000 in his salary, that was just the gross income. What actually went in his bank account, what he had in his wallet, was a lot less. And now he's in debt because he spent more than he should have because he didn't understand this. That's not going to happen to you guys. You're going to understand it first. All right, when it comes to your expenses, we have lots of them. I want you to make sure you understand your different types of expenses. Some expenses are the same every single month. If you rent a place to live, right, if you have a place to rent, or if you have a mortgage, or you own your own house, a lot of times that amount stays the same every single month. We have some expenses that are periodic. My man Justin over here, wave Justin. He's a college student. Where did he go to college, Justin? He goes to Troy University, right? Go Trojans. And he pays tuition once a semester, at the beginning of the semester, either in August or in January. That's a periodic expense. And then we have what we call variable expenses. This is usually the most. Let's say that you go grocery shopping every couple of weeks. Walmart, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, wherever you go to grocery shop. You might be buying about the same number of items every single time, but when you get that cash register, it's probably not going to be the exact same amount. It's going to vary just a little bit, right? That's called a variable expense. So whatever types of expenses you have, whether it's periodic, fixed, or variable, here's the key, guys. You got to make sure you're tracking your expenses. I'm a big fan of fantasy football, right? We just finished the football season not too long ago. He knows. I check my fantasy app every single day. Who's got the most points? Who's up for a trade? I'm trying to win the league, right? Why do we track our social media feeds, our news feeds, our fantasy football feeds every single day, but we're not tracking our expenses every single day? That ought to be one of the most important things. Isn't our money more important than my fantasy football league? Isn't my money more important than my social media feed? But I'm not tracking my expenses every single day, so you've got to have a track for those. And there are lots of apps on our phones, on our tablets, we can use that. But you got to make sure that you know, because if you don't know where your money's coming in and going out, probably going to lose it. All right, next slide, Justin. I got one more slide, then I'm ready for my first volunteer in just a minute. So get ready. Just a moment. Now, when it comes to your money management, you may not have one now, but your family members do. But soon, some of you are going to start getting bank accounts. So I want to make sure that you guys understand how bank accounts work because you got to know how you use your money the right way. So when it comes to bank accounts, the first thing is talking about what we call financial institutions. That's a fancy way of saying banks and credit unions. Name some of the banks and credit unions you've heard of before. Just shout them out. PNC, Wells Fargo, Chase. Absolutely. Okay, so you all named several what we call national and international banks. These are for-profit institutions that are trying to make money for their shareholders. That's great. There's nothing wrong with those. But we also have other financial institutions called credit unions. Guardian Credit Union, Five Star Credit Union, All In Credit Union, just to name a few. These are often not for profit. institutions, they're not trying to make money for their shareholders. They're trying to help out their members, their customers. And so sometimes credit unions might have lower rates, lower interest rates when it comes to borrowing money, or higher interest rates when it comes to certain types of savings accounts. And so you want to check out, should I go to a bank or should I go to a credit union for whatever banking needs you have? Just like you go to different stores depending on what kind of clothing or shoes you want to wear. When it comes to banks and credit unions, though, most of them offer these types of accounts: a checking account, savings account. Checking account is going to be used for your day-to-day purchases. When I tap, swipe, or insert my debit card, that money's coming right out of my checking account. When I get my paycheck every month, it goes straight into my checking account. We use this every single day. But a lot of people have one of these, a savings account. Why is that beneficial? Because you want to also save money for short-term and long-term things. Short-term, I like to say, is between 3 to 5 years. So what's something that's a big event that's going to happen in all of your lives in the next 3 to 5 years? 16 for sure. Graduation. You're going to graduate here from Booker T. Washington, right? In the next 3 to 5 years, right? You're ninth graders, so in about 3 to 4 years, you're going to graduate. When you graduate, you might want to have a graduation party. When you graduate, you might want to go on a graduation trip. You might want to buy a car. You might want to do something big, right? So graduation's coming up. That's short term. She knows. All right, what about long term, more than 3 to 5 years from now? College, buy a house, maybe get married. That can sometimes be expensive. Yep, buy some land. And then everybody in the room, me, Miss Emma, all of our guests, one day we're all going to want to retire. And that takes money too, right? So savings accounts can be great places to park some money, not your everyday money, but some additional money for the short term and long term. It's also a great place to put your emergency fund. Say that with me. Emergency fund. Why do we need an emergency fund? Because you guys are old enough to know. I appreciate that. Bad things are going to happen. You're driving down the road, boom, hit a pothole. You got to replace a tire. You're at home taking a shower, hot water goes out, boom, you got to replace that hot water heater. Bad thing, she knows. These things are going to happen. It's not if, it's when. And if you don't have money in your savings account ready for that, you might have to go into debt to fix it. So let's make sure that we have money in our savings accounts for our emergency fund. Last one, then I'm going to get my first volunteer. So get ready. Specialty accounts. She's like, I'm ready. Specialty accounts. These accounts are different from checking and savings. These accounts are where we're going to put extra money that we don't need right now, but we're thinking about the future. These accounts are often able to help you get more money in the long term. We're talking about certificates of deposit, called CDs, or money market accounts, MMAs. This is where if you have extra money that you don't need right now, you can put it in these specialty accounts that have higher interest rates, and you can earn more. Remember at the beginning we said wealthy people don't just work hard for their money, they have their money working hard for them. You put money in a specialty account, your money's working hard for you. In 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, when you graduate, you put in X amount, and at the end you get Y out of it. You get a lot more out of it. So you want to put, here's the good interest rates, savings accounts. Traditional savings accounts, they have interest rates of about 1%. Specialty accounts like a CD or an MMA have certain rates, usually around 3 to 5%. So really, really helpful. Yes, ma'am. So specialty accounts like stocks? Well, that would be more of an investment, but some people can use those in conjunction with specialty accounts. So that's also a great way to earn money, to grow money, but that's a little bit of a different one. Yes, sir. That's right. You're getting a higher interest rate. No, he's I get it. Confirming. I like it. So, I think it's ready for our first volunteer. I'm going to ask my man Justin to pick us out a volunteer, Justin. All right. Round of applause. Round of applause. Come on. Hey, I'll promise you this. The next volunteer will be a female. We got a male here. We'll get a female next time, okay? What's your name?
Jamie.
Jamie? All right, nice to meet you, Jamie. Stand right there. Jamie, we have 3 questions from the information we just covered on money management. All the questions are multiple choice. If you get a question wrong, nothing bad happens, okay? It's cool. But if you get it right, you're going to have a better chance of winning money in our first game. Sound good? All right, let's go ahead and see the first question, Justin. Question number 1, purchasing groceries is which type of expense? Would that be a fixed expense, a periodic expense, a variable expense, or a seasonal expense? What do you think? He says periodic. Now, if he gets it right, if he gets it wrong, don't boo. But if he gets it right, I want to hear you guys cheer, okay? Let's go ahead and see the answer. Variable. Wow. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, two big ones. Two big ones left. Two big ones left. Question number 2, Justin. In which account do people typically put their emergency funds? Would that be in a savings account, a checking account, a certificate of deposit, or a money market account? Where do they put their emergency funds?
In the savings.
He says savings. Let's check the answer. Let's go! Okay. All right. Nicely done. And he said, Jamie. Got it. Jamie. All right, you're 1 for 2. Last question. Try to get this one right. What is a good savings rate for a certificate of deposit? I said this at the very end there. Is it 1 to 2%? Is it 3 to 5%? Is it 6 to 7% or 9 to 10%? Which one do you think it is? He says 3 to 5. Is he right? Let's go! Okay. All right, Jamie, here's how it's going to work. Hit the next slide for us, Justin. You're going to play our first game called Cash Cube. The way this is going to work is we're going to turn on these blowers in just a moment. You're going to step inside our Cash Cube over here, and money is going to fly all around. You got 2 questions right. Make it up. There we go. All right, make it full screen. And 10 seconds. All right, Jamie, come here. So you have 2 questions right. So you're going to have 10 seconds in the Cash Cube. I'm going to put some money in there. When I say go, you're going to try to grab as much cash as you can. We're going to count you down. And when I say stop, you'll walk out. We'll count up how much money you get. Sound good? All right, come on back here. Step right inside. All right. Just a moment. Now, here's the rules. 10 seconds. You can put it in your pockets. You can put it in your shirt, whatever. You just can't grab off the bottom, and you can't grab off the top. You just got to catch the money, okay? All right, just a moment, and I'm going to put the money in with you. All right, I'm about to put the money in with Jamie. He has 10 seconds on the screen. When I say go, he's going to try to grab as much money as possible. I need you to help me count down from 10 when I say go, okay? All right. Don't start till I say go, okay? All right, Jamie, are you ready? Justin, are we ready? On your mark, get set, go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All right. All right. Come on out, Justin. I mean, this is Jamie, sorry. Come on out. All right. Here, Jamie. A little more fell out, Jamie. There you go. A little more fell out. All right. All right. There you go. All right. Take it on over to Justin right here. He's going to count it up for you. And then you step back over here. All right, Jamie, come on over here for a second while he counts that up. Talk to me for a second. Come on over. Have you ever been in a Cash Cube before?
No, sir.
All right. What were your thoughts? Tell me about it. What did you think?
Oh, no, I had brain fart.
A lot was happening, right? 10 seconds is not very long. You're in there, money's blowing all around. What was your strategy? Just trying to grab as much as possible. Was it easier or was it harder than you thought?
It was easier.
It was a little easier than you thought? That's good. How much money do you think you might have grabbed? We had a little extra on the ground that you picked up too. So how much money do you think you walked away? $20? Would you be happy with $20? Justin, we have a count. $30! Let's go! All right. Jamie, here's how it's going to work. We're going to go through the whole presentation. Justin's written down $30 for you. At the end of the presentation, I'll get all my volunteers back up, and I'll pay you cash money at the end, okay? So sit tight for a minute. We're going to keep going. Another round of applause for Jamie. All right, we need to keep rolling on. We said 10 or 11, 11:10, so we got just under an hour. Perfect timing. Okay, topic number 2, credit and savings. You guys have been great, by the way. Let's keep up the energy. When it comes to credit and savings, I want to make sure you guys understand, go ahead, Justin, a key topic here. At some point, most people are going to have to borrow money. In fact, as we'll see in the next slide, the 4 main things that most people borrow money for in this life are a mortgage, which you call a home loan, right? A mortgage, an auto loan for your car, student loans for college, and a credit card is actually a type of a loan. Those are the 4 major types. But when it comes to borrowing money, you have to understand that credit is what we call borrowing money, the cost of borrowing money for someone else. Because when you pay back money, you have to pay back the loan you've borrowed plus, she knows, plus interest. Very good. When it comes to borrowing money, though, you want to understand that not every bank and financial institution lends money the same way. Now, banks and credit unions can't discriminate based on age or gender or race. That's illegal. What they can discriminate on is how well you operate with your money. And I like using this analogy. Now, I know all of you are fun academic students. I can tell. But if I want to know what type of student you are, I might walk up to you and I'd say, what's your GPA? GPA stands for grade point average. Now, you don't have to tell me. But if she were to tell me, say 3 point something. So she telling me a 3 point something lets me know that she's got at least a B average, probably between a B and an A average, which is actually, I think, really good because in the U.S., for the most part, GPA goes from a 0 at the bottom to a 4.0 at the top, right? I know some schools go above 4.0, but you get the idea. Okay, so if I want to know what type of student she is, I'll ask for a GPA. That's the same as how you borrow and spend your money. Credit score is like your GPA for the way you take out loans. Your credit score determines or shows how you use money you've borrowed. Except it doesn't go from a 0 to a 4. It goes from a 300 at the bottom to an 850 at the top. And the higher your credit score, the more likely it is that you'll get the loan you want and get a good interest rate on that loan. But the credit score doesn't always tell the whole picture, just like your GPA doesn't always tell the whole picture. So if I really want to know what type of student you are, I might go ask one of your principals, one of your administrators, and say, let me see Trinity's transcript, right? And that transcript's going to show me all the classes she's taken since kindergarten or first grade, and all the grades she's made. It's going to show me everything she's done. Well, just like a transcript shows the whole picture, a credit report shows all the loans you've ever had going back 7 to 10 years. That's a long time, which means right now, at 14, 15 years old, as you get 16, 17, 18 years old, if you take out a loan or you use a credit card, which type of loan, and you don't use it the right way, and you get into debt, bad debt, that could affect you until you're 25, 27, 30 years old, which is really scary. So you want to make sure that you're using it the right way because your credit report has a track history of how you're using your money. Credit cards, like we said, can be really beneficial, but also really dangerous because they have high interest rates. And a lot of people don't think of them as loans, but they certainly are. Next slide. Now, earlier we said the 4 main types of loans in the U.S. A mortgage, which you call a home loan, an auto loan for your car, credit cards, and student loans. Let's talk about these really quickly. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to buying a home or buying a car, the price you see on the sticker, the advertised price, is not always everything you have to pay. For instance, let's say that you want to go buy a home one day. That's a lot of people's dreams, to buy their own home. And you see a home that's, to make it easy, $100,000. It's actually on the low end. But you see a home worth $100,000. You're thinking, I don't have $100,000 right now, so I'll go get a loan. Okay? So you go to the bank, you go to the credit union, you go to some financial institution, and you say, I want to buy this house. They do some checking. Okay, it's worth $100,000. You say, I need a loan for this house. And they say, okay, how much do you need a loan for? $100,000, right? And they're going to say, nope, we're only going to loan you up to a certain percentage. They're going to want you to put in some money up front too. We call that a down payment. Same for a house, same for a car. And usually that down payment is around 20%. So think about this. If you're going to buy a $100,000 home, you have to have up front $20,000. Now, I'm giving away a lot of money today, but I ain't giving away $20,000. Okay? That's a lot of money. And so you have to think about all the upfront costs. There's also appraisal fees, closing fees, home inspection fees. For autos, it's registration, title fees, sales tax, assorted dealer fees. There's all these extra costs. So when you go to the car lot and you're looking at that sticker on the car, and you're like, oh, I can afford this. Just remember, there's always extra costs. So you want to make sure you understand that in advance. When it comes to credit cards, like I said, they have a very high interest rate. So you want to make sure that if you're using a credit card, you have the money set aside to pay off that credit card. A lot of people use it as free money. But what happens if you don't pay off that credit card by the end of the month? It earns what? Interest. And interest can be good or bad. Remember the savings account? That interest is good because you're earning that. But in this case, interest is bad because it means it's more you have to pay back later. And if you only pay back the minimum payment, which some people do, then that interest keeps racking up and racking up and racking up, and that's how people get in a really bad credit card debt. And then finally, we're going to talk more about college in a moment, but student loans. These are actual opportunities to go into debt. Now, some people need them to go to college. I had to have student loans. So I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're dangerous, right? A knife used the right way can be really beneficial in the kitchen, but it can also be really dangerous. So you want to make sure that you're being very careful when it comes to how you're using different types of loans. Last slide, and I'm getting my next volunteer, and I told you it's going to be a female this time. When it comes to saving money for your future, I want to make sure that you guys understand some key principles. We said wealthy people earlier, they don't just work hard for the money, but they have their money working hard for them. I like it. You guys have been paying attention. I appreciate that. Here's some other key principles from wealthy people who are smart with money. They understand the principle of paying yourself first. What does that mean exactly? That means any money that you ever get coming in, we call it income, right? From a part-time job, from birthday, from Christmas, from selling something, any money that you ever get coming in, before you buy anything with it, before you pay any bills with it, you want to make sure that you're putting some of that money into your savings account first. In fact, certain experts say that you should follow what we call the 50-30-20 rule. She's smart. 50-30-20. If you add all those up, it adds to 100, right? 100%. 50-30-20. 50% of any money you get coming in should go toward your needs. Food, clothing, water, shelter. You could probably throw a cell phone in there, internet, those sort of things. That's all needs, right? In 2026, we can say those are needs. That's fine. 30%, though, should go toward your wants, things you like to do. I like to play sports. I like to go to the movies. I like to go to eat at fancy restaurants. I like to go on a vacation. I like to buy video games. Whatever it is, 30% of your money should go toward what you want to spend it on. Good for you. But 20%, they already know. They're smart. 20% ought to go toward your savings. 1/5 of everything you get coming in, go to your savings. That's what we call pay yourself first. And if you can't do that, start small. One of the best pieces of advice my mom ever told me is put $5 in your savings. Mom, what's $5 going to do? Over the course of a year, $60. It's not that much. She said, you're right. $5 isn't going to do a lot right now. But next paycheck, you're going to get $10 in your savings account. The next time it's going to be $12, then $15, then $20. It's not about the amount. It's about the habit. Get that habit started right now, and then let it grow. When you get a part-time and a full-time career position, you let it grow. Finally, you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of this thing called compound interest. We said earlier, interest can be good or bad depending on the situation. If it's money that you're earning, that interest can be really good. And compound interest means you're earning money on the interest you've already started earning. So it's really growing really quickly, and it allows you to get a larger amount later on, especially in those specialty accounts that we talked about earlier. Now, that's our second topic. It is time for our next volunteer, and this time I'm going to let Miss Emma pick us. I'm putting you on. Now, it needs to be a female, please. Okay, round of applause. Let's go. All right. What's your name? Iman. Nice to meet you. I'm Preston. Okay. Same as we did with Jamie earlier. 3 questions. The more you get right, the more chances you have to win money, okay? Here we go. First question, Justin. Question number 1. Which of these is not one of the 4 common types of loans? A mortgage, a credit card, a business loan, or an auto loan? She says auto. Is she right? Oh, it's a business loan. That's okay. That's okay. Now, some people do take out business loans, but not everybody. Okay, you still got 2 questions left. Number 2, Justin, what is a common down payment amount for a home? Would that be 20%, 30%, 50%, or 75%? What's a common amount for down payment for a home? 20%, 30, 50, or 75? 20. She says 20. Is she right? Let's go! All right, you're on the board, Iman. Very good. Okay, last question. See if you can get one more. Following the 50, 30, 20 rule says that you should put 20% of your income towards what? She didn't even need me to read the choices, y'all. She says savings. Is she right? Let's go! All right. You are going to play our money wheel. So step right over here, please. All right, stand right there. I'm going to roll this forward just a little bit. All right, this is our big money wheel, okay? As you can see, there are 16 wedges or options on the board. We have them ranging from $2 to $4 to $6 to $8 in black. In green, we have $10, $15, and $20. Let me get some excitement going on. We have the silver in $25, and if you get really lucky, Mom, we have gold in $50. Now, Iman, you have 2 questions right, which means you get 2 spins. After the first spin, we'll see what it lands on. You'll have a choice to make. Do I want to keep that amount, or do I want to give that amount away and try one more time? Up to you, okay? I want you to stand right here. I'm going to lock the wheels in place so it doesn't move away. Stand right there. And this is pretty sturdy, okay? So you can give it a good spin, okay? It'll be fine. All right, let's get it back. Which number you want to start on? You want to start on she wants to start on the $2. All right, step right up and give it a good spin of the wheel. Right there. Let me hear you clap as it goes. 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Woo! All right, big money, big money, big money. What's it going to land on? Here's your first amount. Come on, come on, come on. Oh! $15. All right, do you want to keep the $15? Or do you want to give the $15 up and try one more time? Sure. Ask them. It looks like most of them. All right, she's going again. One more time. On your mark. Oh, start on the 8. There you go. All right, they got it. All right, here we go. On your mark. Get set. Go. Here we go. Big money, big money, big money, big money. Here we go. What's it going to land on? $20. All right. Nicely done. Good job. At the end, I'll bring you back up and we'll get your money. $5. All right. We're going to keep on rolling. We have 2 topics left, 2 games left to play, 2 volunteers to get. Now we're moving into the costs of college. You guys are in 9th grade, but at some point in your futures, you might want to go to college. I think that could be a great idea for you if you choose to do so. But in order to go to college, I want to make sure you guys understand the costs of college. So let's go ahead and jump into it really quickly, Justin. First up, we have a variety of expenses when it comes to college. Number 1, of course, most people understand, tuition. That's right, colleges aren't free. You have to pay to go there a lot of times. The average cost of college has doubled in this century. The average cost of college has doubled in the 21st century. The average cost of in-state tuition here in Alabama is over $9,000. The average cost of out-of-state tuition, if you go outside of Alabama, is over $28,000 per year. So you want to make sure that you understand the cost ahead of time. Not only do you got to pay for tuition, you also got to pay for a place to live. A lot of times, if you're not going to school close to where your home is, you got to pay to live, whether it's on campus or off campus. If you're on campus, you usually have to pay for a dorm room, right? That's what we call room and board. At a 4-year institution, right, the cost of room and board is averaging over $12,000, which is really expensive. At a 4-year institution representing 46% of college students living on campus. So almost half of every college student lives on campus when he or she's attending school. On top of that, you often have to pay for this final thing right here, your books and supplies. That's right, you don't get your books for free, you often have to buy those too. So you got tuition, room and board, and then books and supplies. How much do you think books cost? Over $1,200 every single year. So that's adding on more costs. Here's the good news about books and supplies. Since 2009, students can qualify for a $2,500 textbook and course material tax credit from the IRS. That means you and your families can actually apply to get a tax credit to lower your tax burden for books and supplies you have to pay for in college up to $2,500. So the government is trying to help us out a little bit with those expenses. Go ahead and hit the next cost. When it comes to other costs of colleges, I want to make sure that you guys understand the different types of schools because not every school costs the same amount. So you guys surely have heard of in-state and out-of-state schools. We just mentioned that. Name some in-state schools that you're aware of. Okay, there you go. I heard several. Alabama A&M, UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. I heard somebody say Troy University. That's where Justin goes to school. That's where I work. There you go. Auburn's just down the road. Tuskegee's right here. We have Alabama State. We have University of Alabama. We have lots of institutions here in the state of Alabama, right? But of course there are schools outside of Alabama. Name some other schools that are not located in Alabama. There you go. Jackson State, Florida A&M. All these other schools, right? Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. There you go. So we got lots. Yep. And we have HBCUs, we have SEC, we have Sunbelt, we have all kinds of schools. So if you choose to go in-state, you're often going to pay less money than if you choose to go out of state. Here's the interesting part, though. Alabama does have lower in-state tuition, but it's not the lowest. Florida, the state of Florida, actually has the lowest in-state tuition. But you have to live there. So if you relocate before you go to college and you establish residency for, I think, 6 months to a year, you can actually get in-state tuition. It's usually cheaper. Alabama's still pretty low compared to other states. In addition to in-state, out-of-state, you have private and public schools, right? Just like in high school, there are private and public options. You have colleges that are the same way. And typically, those private schools are going to cost more because the majority of their funding comes from tuition alone versus public schools, which might get state and federal funding to assist to lower that cost of tuition, right? So you want to make sure that you're considering in-state and out-of-state schools, public and private schools. But of course, we always have to mention there are 2-year and 4-year schools. Nod your head if you've heard of community college, right? This is not a bad thing. Community colleges are great opportunities to get 1 to 2 years of your college already covered, knocked out before you go to a 4-year school. Usually at a community college, those tuition costs are actually a lot less expensive. And you usually can commute and not have to live on campus as often. And so you can lower those costs ahead of time. A 4-year school, like we said earlier, Auburn, Alabama, Alabama State, Troy University, these are all 4-year schools. They offer a variety of degree fields and more degree options, but their tuition is usually a little higher than a community college. Last part here, if you are interested in a specific career field, sometimes you can go to what we call a career or a technical school. This high school might have career and tech classes you can take. These colleges take that to the next level. So let's say that you are interested in healthcare. You can learn to become a dental hygienist or dental assistant at a career and technical school. Maybe you're interested in technology. You can learn cybersecurity as a career at a career and technical school. Maybe you want to learn a specific trade with your hands, like welding. This is a really lucrative, meaning you can make a lot of money, career. Welders can go to a career and technical school, and if you're interested in becoming a chef, you can go to a culinary arts school to learn how to cook. So there are lots of different types of colleges that you should be aware of when it comes to going to what we call higher education. Now it's time for my third volunteer. I am looking over here. Let's go. Come on down. What's your name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. All right, Caitlin, I want you to stand right here on this mark for me, please. All right, Caitlin, you've seen this done twice. We had Jamie, we had Iman. You're the third volunteer here. We have 3 questions for you based on the information I just gave about the costs of college and the different types. You're going to play our prize drop game, but you want to try to get as many questions right to see how many points or how many options you can earn. So here we go. Question number 1, Justin. How much of a tax credit can students receive from the IRS for purchasing textbooks in college? Up to $1,000, $2,000, $2,500, or $3,500?
2,500.
If she's right, let me hear you guys clap. Let's go! 1 for 1. Nice job, Caitlin. All right, question number 2. She's getting warm. She's getting excited. Which state offers currently in 2026 offers the lowest in-state tuition rates? Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee.
Florida.
She said it confidently. Is she right? Let's go! 2 for 2. Okay, even the TV's happy for you, Caitlin. All right, number 3. Can she go 3 for 3? Troy University, where I work, where Jackson goes to school, is an example of which type of college? Is it a private school, a trade school, a 2-year school, or a 4-year school? Now, if you need to ask the audience, that'll be okay too. She says 4, but she's not confident. They're giving you 4.
Going 4, right? Yes. We gonna go 4.
So they're going to go 4. What's the answer, Justin? 4-year school! Let's go! All right, Justin, hit the next slide for us. You are going to play prize drop. Here's how it's going to work. You got 3 questions correct, so I have 3 discs, 3 pucks for you. Each of these you're going to get to drop from the top of the board here. At the bottom, there are 7 different slots. Each slot corresponds with a different dollar amount. If you drop it in 1 or 7, that is $10. Little clap, little clap. $10. If you drop it in 2 or 6, that's $20. If you drop it in 3 or 5, that's $30. And if you get it in number 4, that is $50. All right, come on over here. I have a very safe, very sturdy ladder that you're going to step up on back here. It's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, a ladder.
That's right. So go ahead and step on up to about right here. Keep going. One more time. Can you look over the wall there? All right, perfect. All right, here's how it's going to work. One at a time, you're going to put one of these discs flat against the wall, and you can move it anywhere you want to. And then when I say go, you're going to drop it, and this is a practice round. You're going to drop it, it's going to fall down, and you're aiming for one of these slots. 6 would be $20, okay? After each one, because you have 3, you're going to have to decide, do I want to keep that amount, or do I want to give that up and try again? There'll be a decision after each one. All right, here we go. First one. As the puck drops, we're going to play a drum roll. I want to hear you guys get loud. Caitlin, pick your spot. On your mark, get set, go. Let's go. Big money. Big money. Here we go. Here we go. Big money. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! $30, Caitlin. Do you want to keep 30 or you have 2 more? Do you want to try again for 50? All right, she's going to do it again. We'll take this one, throw it over there. Here's your second one. All right, same thing. Let's make some noise. Ready, set, go. Big money, big money, big money. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, $10. You want to try again? All right. We'll take this one and throw it over there. Last one, Caitlin. All right, pick your spot. Pick your spot. On your mark. Get set. Let's go! Woo! Big money, big money, big money. Here it comes, here it comes. Oh, $30. All right, nicely done. Round of applause for Caitlin. $30 right there, very good. All right, folks, we're bringing it home. This is the last lap. The bell's ringing. We got the last topic, number 4. We've talked about money management. We've talked about credit and savings. We've talked about different types of colleges. Now we're going to talk about how to pay for college. This is the last topic. After I go over this, I'm going to get one more volunteer to play our final game. So pay attention here. When it comes to paying for college, I want to make sure that you guys understand there are things you can be doing right now to start making college cheaper. Because we've already talked about how expensive it can be. Before you even get to college, there's some things you can be doing. And I imagine a great school like Booker T. Washington offers several of these opportunities for you guys. Number 1, you can take advantage of what we call dual enrollment. Okay, you already know. This is very good, very good. This is where you can take college classes in high school either for free or for a reduced cost of what you would have to take if you're already in college. These allow you to take classes while you're in high school and earn credit for both your current institution and your college at the same time. 90%, hear that again, 90% of high schools offer dual enrollment opportunities for their students. And I'm glad to hear that your school is another one of those. In addition to dual enrollment, you can also take advantage of, sometimes, AP classes, advanced placement classes. These work similarly to dual enrollment, but a little bit different. AP is taught by high school teachers, and at the end of the class, you actually have to pass a course exam to get that credit that can then count for college. So AP and dual enrollment can be great ways to go ahead and get college credits knocked out beforehand. Then let's go to during college. What can you do during college? Number one, we mentioned earlier, besides tuition, you have those other rates that can be really expensive like room and board. Find a place to go to school where it's cheaper living options for you. That might mean locally. It might mean going to a college where you have family or friends, or it might mean commuting back and forth, if that's a possibility, to where you're going to school. As of 2019, just under 20% of students who attended a four-year school lived with their parents versus 40% of students who attended a community college. So earlier we mentioned that if you go to a community college, you can usually find those more closely to where you live. We can also, besides finding a closer place to live, you can work part-time. I did this in college. Listen to this statistic. Around 40 to 45%, so almost half, of every college student works either a part-time or a full-time job. So almost most of the students are working part-time in college. And then finally, like we said earlier, you can go to a community college and then transfer. Approximately 1/3, say that again, 1/3 of students who attend community college transfer to a four-year school. So that can be an option for you. Finally, some other strategies to make college costs a little bit less. We mentioned earlier work full-time. Some people want to go into the workforce after high school and then go to college later. That's also fine. Did you know that a lot of companies offer what we call tuition assistance, where they pay part of or all of your college costs? Here are just a few. Amazon, Walmart, and Starbucks, companies you've probably shopped from before, offer tuition assistance for their full-time employees. So if you're wondering how am I going to pay for college, go to work for a company that has a program like that. Sometimes you have to work there a certain number of years, and they will actually pay for some of, if not all of, your college costs. Another opportunity, this isn't for everyone, but some people are interested in going into the military after high school. The military offers what we call the GI Bill and some other programs that can allow you to get college paid for as well after a certain length of service. So going in the military can be really beneficial. And then finally, we have what we call 529 plans. Say that with me.
529.
529 plans. What does that mean? That is a state organized program where you can actually start saving money and investing money into your future for the long term. 529 plans were created by Congress in 1996, and they're named for the IRS Code 529, what we call a qualified tuition program. This allows you to have your earnings not be tax deductible and can start having interest earned on your investments that you can use to cover certain college costs, such as tuition, technical equipment, room and board, and textbooks. So you can cover a lot of college costs with money that you earn through a 529 plan. You can even buy technical equipment like a computer, a printer, and even certain software, all of these funds. So talk to your families, talk about 529 plans. We have a really good program here in Alabama. It's called College Counts, and you can actually start earning money, saving money for your college expenses. Last slide, Justin, then I'm getting my final volunteer. Some people have to have money for college through student loans. I had those when I was a student in college, and they were beneficial for me, but I had to pay those back, right? When it comes to using federal money for college, you must understand first and foremost, before you do anything else, you have to fill out what we call the FAFSA. Say that with me. FAFSA. Free application for federal student aid, FAFSA. Every year that you're thinking about going to college, you fill out this FAFSA, and it will let you know, based on your information, how much money you're eligible for to use for college. One of the options is what we call federal student loans. And there are a couple of different varieties of these: direct subsidized and unsubsidized loans, direct plus loans, and then sometimes direct consolidation loans. All these is money that are options of money you can borrow from the federal government to go to college, but you have to pay it back. Now the interest rates vary. They're usually pretty feasible, but it's still money that you have to pay back. So you want to be very careful to not borrow any more than you need because you have to pay that money back. The last option is what we call grants. Grants also can come from the federal government, but these are different than loans. Because loans you have to pay back, grants you don't have to pay back, baby. This is free money to go to college, okay? One of the best options is what we call the federal Pell Grant. It's the largest federal grant offered to undergraduate students and is to help specifically low-income households attend college. So if you're able to be eligible for federal Pell Grants, this is money you can use for college that you don't have to pay back. This is the best type of federal funding to get is federal Pell Grants. What you think, Justin? Time for our final volunteer? All right, let's see. We got one more game to play. I'm looking around the room. I'm looking around the room. I did have a conversation with Trinity earlier. Come on up, Trinity. Round of applause for Trinity. All right, stand right here, Trinity. All right, as you saw with Jamie, Iman, Caitlin, and now Trinity, we're going to play one more game. We have 3 questions for you. For each of these 3 questions, you want to try to get as many right because they're going to help you play the game later. First question. Besides tuition, which of the following expenses can a 529 plan cover?
All of the above.
She doesn't even need me to read out the choices, y'all. Let's see the answer. Let's go. All right, she's 1 for 1. All right, number 2. Approximately what percentage of community college students transfer to a 4-year institution? 20%, 33%, 50%, or 75%? Earlier I said it was a fraction. You got to convert it to a percentage now.
I can remember the fraction. The class said 33.
All right, is it 33? It is! She knows. They know. They're smart. They're smart. Flex on them. I see you. All right, last one. What is the average federal student loan debt? Is it $12,000, $24,000, $38,000, or $50,000? This was tough. She's doing the old eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Here we go. What's it going to land on? All right, she's going for 24. Is it 24? Oh, 38. That's okay, though. That's okay. She got 2. She got 2. All right. The game you're going to play, we're going to put on the screen. The game you're going to play is called Cash Smash. The way this works, there are 42 holes on this board, okay? Behind each of these holes is a playing card. Looks like this. Has my company logo on it. Ooh, there you go, okay? On each of these playing cards is an amount. Now, this is just a joker. You don't want that one. But behind each of these is an amount. If it's a 2 all the way through a 10, that's the amount in dollars you'd receive. So if you punch a hole and you get a 7, it'd be worth $7. However, you guys get excited here. There are 2 jacks. Each jack is worth $15. Okay. There are 2 queens. Each of those are worth $20. There's 1 king. It's worth $25. And Trinity, if you get the 1 ace on the board, it's worth $100. Now, here's how you got to do it, Trinity. You're going to punch a hole. I'll reach in. I'll pull out the amount. We'll look at it. If you want that, you can walk away. And you can get that money in cash right now. But if you don't want that one, because you have 2 tries, you can toss it away and you can try one more time. It'll be up to you, okay? So you go ahead and punch your hole. I'll reach in and get the amount. You just punch it.
I didn't want to.
I've never. She just kind of poked her finger through it. All right, that's fine. Your first amount. Trinity, I hope it's a big one. Your first amount. It's a queen. $20. What do you think? Do you want to keep the 20? Or do you want to go ahead? There are 2 more, a king and an ace. There are 2 more that are worth more than this queen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
All right, she's going to keep the 20. All right,
Oh,
so
yeah,
you want to
okay.
keep the 20? All right, she's locked into the $20. Fair enough. Give it one more try. Let's see what you would get. All right, give it a punch. She's like opening a present real quickly. $7. Let's see if I can see the special one back here. It might be behind the board. It's on the last row. Where, over here somewhere. There's the ace. Right there. That's okay. Round of applause. All right. I really appreciate you guys giving me your full attention. You were an awesome audience. I think